Welcome to Amaya Cloud. We share what we have learned. If you are a fresher, cloud job seeker, new to cloud technology, or want to switch your career to cloud technology, or even if you are from a non-technical background like project manager, program manager, or scrum master, then I am so glad you are watching this. Microsoft Fundamental is perfect course for you to begin your cloud journey. We have planned to release a series of videos that will together cover the whole AZ900 Azure Cloud Fundamental course. This is module 2 in this series. If you have not watched our first module, please watch that first before watching this. Also, please subscribe to our channel if content like this interests you and press the bell icon to be informed whenever we post a video. In this video, I am going to discuss about key cloud concepts which is mostly applicable for all cloud vendors. One more important thing, I have included a demo too, so watch the video without skipping. Concepts like cloud computing can be quite different to traditional computing, which often includes owning many servers, buildings, cables, and employing people to manage it. This video lecture goes through the basis of what it means to use the cloud, including the following topics. Why cloud services? Key cloud concepts like high availability, fault tolerant, disaster recovery, scalability, elasticity, and agilities. Also, we are going to talk about economics of cloud computing and understand why cloud makes business sense. And then I'm going to talk about different types of cloud models, example, public, private, and hybrid, as well different cloud services, infrastructure as a service, PaaS as a service, and SaaS. Let's get into the topic. First, why cloud service? Before I'm answering this, you need to understand what is cloud computing. What are the benefits of cloud computing? Cloud computing is the delivery of computing services like server, storage, databases, networking, software, analytics, intelligence, and more over the internet. You typically pay only for the services you use. The company providing the services is referred to as a cloud provider. Some example providers are Microsoft Azure, Amazon Web Services, and the Google Cloud Platform. The cloud provider is responsible for the physical hardware required to execute your work, in addition to keeping it up to date. The goal of the cloud computing is to make running business easier and more efficient, whether it's a small startup or a large enterprises. Every business is unique and has a different needs. To meet those needs, cloud computing providers offer a wide range of services. You need to have a basic understanding of some of the services it provides. Let's briefly discuss the two most common services that all cloud providers offer. I can choose cloud compute power and then cloud storage too. Compute power. When you send an email, book a reservation on the internet, pay a bill online, you are interacting with the cloud-based servers that are processing each request and returning a response. As a consumer, we are all depend on the computing service provided by the various cloud providers that make up the internet. When you build solutions using cloud computing, you can choose how you want work to be done based on your resources and needs. For example, if you want to have more control and responsibility over maintenance, you could create a virtual machines. A VM is an emulation of computer just like your desktop or laptop you are using now. Each VM includes an operating system and hardware that appears to use like a physical computer running Windows or Linux operating system. You can then install whatever software you need to do the task you want to run in the cloud. The difference is that you don't have to buy any of the hardware or install the OS. The cloud provider runs your virtual machine on a physical server in one of the data centers, often sharing that server with other VMs. You can think like a isolated and secure. With the cloud, you can have a VM ready to go in a minutes at less cost than a physical server. VMs are not the only computing choice. There are other two popular options also, containers or serverless computing. Let's see the next one, the storage. The storage is most devices and applications read and write data. Here are some of the examples. Buying a movie ticket online, looking up the price of an online item, taking a picture, sending an email, leaving a voicemail. In all of these cases, data is either read or written. The type of the data and how it's stored can be different in each of these cases. Cloud providers typically offer services that can handle all of these types of data. For example, if you wanted to store text or a movie clip, you could use a file on disk. If you had a set of relationships such as an address book, you could take a more structured approach like using a database. The advantage to using cloud-based data storage is you can scale to meet your needs. If you find that you need more space to store your movie clips, you can pay a little more and add to your available space. In some cases, the storage even expand and contract automatically, so you pay for exactly what you need at any given point in time. Every business has different needs and requirements, and cloud computing is flexible and cost efficient. The goal of the cloud computing is to make running a business easier and more efficient, whether it's a small startup or a large enterprise. So now it's time for demo. I will show you that the Azure portal, which is the best starting point for your cloud journey. See, for the demonstration purpose, I can use the web portal. There are four ways we can access the Microsoft Azure cloud environment. The first method is through the web portal, like a web app, or the other methods are through the command line, the, using an Azure command line shell. The third method is using the PowerShell, or the fourth method is the cloud shells. So the last three methods are a command line way, but the first method is a Azure portal is an UI based access. So for beginners, the UI based access is the best suited. To begin with that, first we need to type this web portal address. Type portal.azure.com. So it will take you the login page. Since already I have an account, it enters into that. So the I got an automated login. So once you logged in, you have this is your home page. Since I already accessed other services, so that the recent resources it listed. Let me give you a quick overview about this web portal. So this is the title bar where here you can quickly search the list of the available resources. For example, if I click here, it shows my previous history. Also, what was resources you want to see, you can search here. This is a quick search bar. There is the left top corner most show portal menu. If you click that, you can able to see all the category of the resources. For example, here you see all resources, resource group, quick center, app service, function app, the complete portfolio you can able to view from this. And then in the right hand side, as I said, there is a second way is a cloud shell. Cloud shell is browser integrated way of accessing. If you click this one, you can get the cloud shell access. But we don't want that now. So I would like to close this. Okay. Then there are other areas like, for example, if any activity is going, this is a notification button through which we come to know what are the activities. And then this is the settings button. And this is the to which users we logged in. So all those information, and this is the area where you can able to see the recently accessed resources or resource types. As I mentioned previously, everything in Azure is a resources, but I don't want to go much deeper in that. And then you can able to have some of that pinned, the key things whichever you recently accessed. So for this demonstration, I can quickly show up one virtual machine creating, how quickly it can create a virtual machine. To create a virtual machine, click here, create a resource, okay, and then search here, virtual machine. So I'm searching in virtual machines or in a VM. I can go to here, or I can quickly search from here too. The popular virtual machine databases, everything they mentioned here, the popular services. But For our beginner purpose, let me go to the compute, and these are all the compute resources available. You see, the first one is a virtual machine, and then I have an other compute services also. Example, function app, Ubuntu server, Red Hat, everything it comes. If I click my storage, you can able to see the list of the storage services available. If I go here, I click on storage. Here you can able to see the list of the storage options are available. Azure Data Box, Backup Secretary. I can able to see my ADLS storage, data lake storage, blob storage, everything I can able to access from here. Okay. For simplicity, I can go back with my compute. I click my virtual machines. So if I want to create a virtual machines, simply click this. So I have chosen my subscription. Then I need to I have to choose my resource group. Uh, I don't want to discuss more about what are all these options because these are all we are going to see it in the later part of the courses. So I'm giving a virtual machine name, for example, my Amaya Cloud and which regions. I want to go with all the defaults. I don't want to select anything as a specifically. But here you see I'm choosing an Ubuntu server. In case if I'm interested in Windows, I can go like a Windows server. For example, Windows Gen 1. Okay, if I want a Windows machine. Otherwise, it will go for an Linux machine. Then the size of the machine. Here I need to type my username password. Um, Let me take, so this is the username password I'm going to use to access my machine. Let me type my username. Uh, Amaya Cloud YouTube channel. YouTube. Okay, Amaya Cloud YouTube. This is my username. Oh, okay, the password, I need to meet this password requirement. Okay, it So I entered a username, password, and I don't want to change anything. I want to go with all the default. So if I click the next section here, I'm going to choose the type of the disk, operating system disk, everything, the networking. I don't want to change anything. For fundamental demonstration purpose, I want to go with all the default. If it is an administrator or other courses, then I can walk through each and every options and what are all the possibilities are available. But here I want to go with the everything default. So we reach the advanced and then tax, and the last one is review and create. So at this stage, it will review whatever the inputs we given. It's going to validate. Now you can able to see here the validation is passed. After the once the validation passed, I'm going to create spin up this VM. So just I clicked the spin up this VM, we can able to see it. You see here submitting the deployment. If I click here, see this is my deployment in progress. Here we can able to see how much it went on, what are all the things is getting deployed, all the complete details we can able to see it here. Let's wait for some time. You see, even though I created a virtual machine only, but if you look here, there are a lot of other things also getting started deploying. For example, this is called a network service group. It's a security related, the public IP, and then the VNet. Then this is my Microsoft machine, and this is my actual VM. Okay, you see how quickly my Windows VM got created. Okay, so it's lesser than a minute. So this is where my machines, this is my machine detail complete. This is here is my public IP. And if I go here, all my private IP, all the details are available here. So I can choose. So how to connect my machine? So simply I can go with this connect one. Since it's a Windows machine, I go with an RDP. RDP is nothing but my remote desktop. So I can simply download this RDP file. RDP is nothing but a remote desktop. So I click my RDP, it will ask, connect. It's trying to connect. It's asking my username password. You remember we created the username as Amaya Cloud YouTube, and the password I'm given. Okay, now it's trying to connect. It's validating the certificates. Yes, certificates are validated. Now it's establishing my remote connection. You see here, I have a brand new Windows 10 desktop or a virtual machines. So it's setting up a few of my personal things. Once it's done, okay, here you see I have a brand new virtual machines, VM machine. How quick it's. So if I want to terminate, I can simply terminate this. Yes, terminate. If I want to close this VM, either if I want to stop this VM or if I want to completely delete this VM, go here, stop. Simply click stop. But please remember, even though if you stopped, Microsoft Azure will charge on your VMs. So the best thing is you need to delete. But the right way of delete is you need to delete the respective resource group. For example, today I created this for an under this resource group. Um, Give me a moment, let me see. And parts unlimited. This is the resource group I created. I want to delete with this. Okay, here if you see, I have an Amaya Cloud, lots of other things I created. Better I can go with the VM now because I have something else also there. So I go here, I select this VM and I want to delete. Let me delete. Yes, now it's trying to deleting the virtual machine. It may take a minute to delete. So before that, we can able to see what else is there in the home, the virtual machines. So now you see the status, it's deleting. Yes, now it's got deleted everything. So with this, I can stop my demonstrations and we will continue with the rest of the concepts. Thank you. The next section, we can discuss about key cloud concepts. Cloud services is a big shift from the traditional way businesses think about IT resources. Cloud services have characteristics and considerations, some of which are outlined and explained below. These all are the very key concepts you need to understand for your examination, as well as this is common way for any cloud services. I will go through each one with practical example. First, let's see about high availability. The ability to keep services up and running for long period of time with very little downtime depending on the service in question. The next one is scalability. The ability to increase or decrease resources for any given workload. You can add additional resources to service a workload known as scaling out, or add additional capabilities to manage an increase in demand to the existing resource known as scaling up. Scalability does not have to be done automatically. The next one is fault tolerance. The ability to remain up and running even in the event of component or service no longer functioning. Typically, redundancy is built into the cloud service architecture, so if one component fails, a backup component takes its place. The type of service is said to be tolerant of faults. The next one is elasticity. The ability to automatically or dynamically increase or decrease resources as needed. Elasticity resources match the current needs and resources are added or removed automatically to meet the future needs when it's needed and from the most advantageous geographic locations. A distinguish between scalability and elasticity is that elasticity is done automatically. The next one is agility. The ability to react quickly. Cloud services can allocate and deallocate resources quickly. They are provided on demand via self-service, so vast amounts of computing resources can be provisioned in minutes. There is no manual intervention in provisioning or deprovisioning services. The next one is disaster recovery. The ability to recover from an event which has taken down a cloud service. Cloud service disaster recovery can happen very quickly with automation and service being readily available to use. The next one we can look into the security. Cloud providers offers a broad set of policies, technologies, controls, and expert technology skills that can provide better security than most organizations can otherwise achieve. The result is strengthened security, which helps to protect data, apps, and infrastructure from potential threats. The last one we can see the global reach, the ability to reach audiences around the globe. Cloud services can have presences in various regions across the globe, which you can access, giving you a presence in those regions even though you may not have any infrastructure in that region. With this, these key cloud concepts are done. Next, we can discuss about the economy of cloud computing. In smaller scale, cloud providers such as Microsoft, Google, and Amazon are large business and are able to leverage the benefits of economics of scale and then pass those benefits on to their customer. This is apparent to end users in a number of ways. One of which is the ability to acquire hardware at lower cost than if a single user or smaller businesses were purchasing it. Storage cost, for example, have decreased significantly over the last decade due in part to cloud providers' ability to purchase large amount of storage at significant discounts. They are then able to use the storage more efficiently and pass on those benefits to the end users in the form of low prices. In any business, there are two approaches to investment are referred to as. One is capital investment or capital expenditure, and the other one is the operational expenditure. Capital expenditure. This is the spending of money on physical infrastructure upfront and then deducting that expense from your tax bill over time. CapEx is an upfront cost which has a value that reduces over time. The next one is the operational expenditure. This is spending money on services or products now and being billed for them now. You can deduct this expense from your tax bill in the same year. There is no upfront cost. You pay for your service or product as you use. In previous years, startup companies need large amounts of money to get a new business up and running or to grow an existing company. They would have to buy new data center or new servers to allow them build out new services, which they could then deliver to their customer. That is no longer the case now. Today, organizations can sign up for a service from a cloud provider to get up and running. This enables them to being selling or providing services to their customers more quickly without the need of the significant upfront cost. Now let's see something about what is meant by the consumption-based model. Cloud service providers operate on a consumption-based model, which means that end users only pay for the resources that they use. Whatever they use is what they pay for. This consumption model brings with it many benefits, including no upfront cost, no need to purchase and manage costly infrastructure that they may or may not use to its fullest, the ability to pay for additional resources when they are needed, the ability to stop paying for resources that are no longer needed. When discussing, that's all about the economics of cloud. Next we can discuss about the cloud models. This is the very famous and very frequently you may hear, I'm sure. When discussing the cloud architecture, there are three general models which are considered. One is private, public, and hybrid. Let's go through each one of them. First, let's look into what is meant by the private cloud. Private means that these services within the cloud are offered to selected users only instead of the public. The benefit is that an organization can create their own cloud they completely control but get all the benefits of public cloud too. Private clouds generally have a high level of security and privacy through both company firewalls and internet hostings. This makes it easier to ensure that operations and sensitive data are not accessible to the third parties. One drawback, and it can be a big one, is that it is an organization IT department is responsible for the cloud and not Microsoft or such a big companies. Private clouds require the same amount of staffing, management, and maintenance expense as traditional data center ownerships. Let's see about something about the public cloud. Public cloud can save companies from the expensive cost of having to purchase, manage, and maintain on-premise hardware and application infrastructure. The cloud service provider is held responsible for all management and maintenance of the systems for which you pay a low monthly fee. On the reverse side, you don't have any control over updates to features and specifically on which server your data is stored. There is a third model which they call it's a hybrid cloud. As the name implies, hybrid cloud is a mix of private and public cloud. For a lot of companies, moving entirely to the cloud is not a simple one step. It is a tiered approach over a longer period of time to avoid disruptions and outages. And for some certain services and applications just don't live in the public cloud. This could be for regulatory reasons, governance issues, or something else. A hybrid cloud allows applications and data to span both public and private cloud infrastructures. Organizations gain the flexibility and computing power of the public cloud for basic and non-sensitive computing tasks while keeping the business critical applications and data on premises safely behind. So once you have chosen a cloud architecture or this architecture model or different kind of the service model, it is very tricky to go back. Private cloud is exactly that. It's private. It is an incarnation of Azure that is hosted on your private hardware in a location you choose. A private cloud gives you full control over the services on it with the benefits of a public cloud platform. The downside is a lot of staff to manage and maintain it. Public cloud is Azure, AWS, GCP, and so on. You don't purchase any hardware, there are low monthly costs, but you have little control over the infrastructure. A hybrid cloud lets you get the best of both private and public cloud models, but you could end up with a very complex infrastructure. With this, the cloud service models are done. The next important topic is type of cloud services. Getting an Azure account and subscription is one thing. Understanding the various models of cloud services is the next step. For the Azure Fundamental exam, you have to know the difference between infrastructure, platform, and software as a service. You may have heard these terms before, but what do they mean in the cloud computing and Azure context? Let's see that. We start with an infrastructure as a service, often just pronounced as IaaS. Infrastructure refers to actual servers being virtual ones that are provided by Azure. It is as a service because you do not have to go out and buy a physical server. You can scale up and down quickly, provisioning more servers as you need them and only paying for what you use. On Azure, the IaaS offering includes virtual machine, storage, networking, components, firewall, and the physical hardware, everything you runs. The next one is platform as a service, or you may call as PaaS. It is a superset of IaaS. Like IaaS, PaaS include infrastructure, service, storage, and networking, but also middleware, development tool, business intelligence services, database management systems, and more. PaaS is designed to support the complete web application life cycles like building, testing, deploying, managing, and updating. On Azure, the PaaS offering avoids the expense and the complexity of buying and managing software licenses, the underlying application infrastructure, and the middleware. You manage the application and services that you develop, and the cloud service provider typically manage everything else. For Azure, this could be a security features, development tools, and data warehouse services. The next or the last one, they call it as a software as a service or SaaS. It is a term that implicitly includes both IaaS and PaaS, and it is built on top of this. Normally, It has to do with providing a service via a managed rented software as a service, such as Stripe for credit card payment, Gmail for emails, or QuickBooks for accounting. You don't own the software, but you pay an access fee to use it, or might even be free. That removes any maintenance you might have to do, and you always have the latest features. For Microsoft in general, the most common SaaS offering is Office 365. The app services, Azure SQL Server, and Azure Active Directory are all examples of the SaaS offering. Now that you know the common cloud service models, the concept of shared responsibility is important to understand. The best way to understand this concept is starting with an on-premise data center. Here, you are responsible for every part of this system and infrastructure. As you move to the cloud, some of the responsibility for parts of the system transfers to the Microsoft. First, let's look about IaaS, that is Infrastructure as a Service. Microsoft will be responsible for the physical host, networks, and data centers. When you use PaaS services, Microsoft also inherits responsibility for the operating system of the servers, some network control, some PaaS applications, as well as part of the identity and directory service. When you use a SaaS product, Microsoft will commit to take responsibility for all of the network controls, all of the application management, and still some of the identity service. At all times, you are responsible for your information and data, any devices using your Azure infrastructure, and all of your accounts. This is the premise of shared responsibility. Depending on the type of the cloud services, you and Microsoft will share the responsibility to run a successful environment. With this, we concluding this our module 1. Thank you for patiently watching this. I'm sure that you would have learned something valuable from this. Once again, subscribe to our channel, share and like this video, and without fail, press that bell button. Thank you. I will see you in part 3 of this video series.